temple, right? And we're the God of our own temple too. And I like to tell people that we're sitting in a Ferrari, a high performance vehicle, you see, and we should be putting in high octane fuel, and then take the car out for a run too, but most of us are sitting in a Kia, or like, this low valued car, but we're not. We're sitting in a high performance vehicle. So one of the things is, in life, we all want something, whatever that is. We want more of whatever, money and health or status or fame or position and those type of things. But it all starts in your mind. Everything we're creating. If you listen to the masters, they'll tell you, we're creating our environment. You like your job or you like your life or you don't like it, you're making it. You're making everything. So with the cold exposure, what it does is it helps you to face things that are extremely, extremely difficult. You're putting yourself purposely into a very difficult situation. That way, when life comes with all this BS, which is the belief systems, when they come with the BS, you're ready for it. You come through with that BS, you see it. Before it comes, you're like, man, listen, I see you already. So, you're not coming for me. I come better than that because I was just in the ice for 3 minutes. So,
and, it's one of the things that high level athletes do. And I know a lot of people will see them, people getting a cold bath, NBA players, NFL players, thinking that, that's only reserved for people that put extreme strain on their body and help their joints, some basic things like that. But it's so much deeper.
There is.
You mentioned the high octane fuel, right? Just because you're not a high level athlete doesn't mean your body can't overperform or perform even better with this type of high octane fuel stimulation for our bodies.
Exactly. So there's many benefits, Danny, for cold exposure. And one of the things is pain management. So when you see high performance athletes inside of the cold, it's for pain management too. It's for the elbow, for the knee, for the shoulder. Nothing works better than the cold, not the heat, because that just is expanding things and making them more irritated. But when you get the cold, it's contracting and it numbs that pain. Another thing that athletes and people who get into cold experience is also like the anti-inflammatory as well. So 85 or 95% of all sicknesses come from inflammation. Right. If you study like Dr. Sebi, he would tell you that that's where it's come from. We're too inflamed. It's the mucus in our body, right?
Right.
That's inflaming the organs inside of our torso and things of that nature. So we want to be able to keep the inflammation down as well. So this is another benefit too that high performance athletes, experience, as well as that tough resilience. You have to have quite a bit of grit, and you have to have a pair of steel, cojones, in order to get into these situations. So you start to experience things. Well, basically, life is just one huge mind chemical.
Right.
That's all it is. That's all life is, really. We're getting these boosts of different chemicals that come in. So when you place yourself into cold exposure, you're getting the norepinephrine and epinephrine and adrenaline too, and some other chemicals as well. But this is the one where you're tapping into the fight or flight. And once you start, your brain and body starts getting lubricated with these things, like your mind starts to say, hey, what's going on? Like, why are you, in this? Let's get out. Let's run. Let's, but it's that will power, it's that mindset of saying, hey, thank you very much for helping me out, but I'm in this situation. I got this. I can handle it.
Yes. Our bodies are miraculous. And when we get the right stimuli, things start to happen. You mentioned inflammation. I feel like the term is readily used and severely misunderstood because break it down to its basics components. Inflammation is damage. You know, it is a response to damage within your body. Is it caused by physical damage? Is it caused by some chemical damages from toxicity? But the inflammation, the itises, you know, wherever you have an itis, that means there's inflammation, which means there's damage. And you can help your body stimulate that healing process. I've done cold plunge, cold exposure before. Longest time I've ever stayed in the ice was 10 minutes. Yep.
Wow.
It was a test, a competition, if you will, with a couple doctor friends of mine. Dr. Brad Campbell. Shout out to Dr. Brad, Dr. Vince Esposito, and Chris Crutchfield from 6-7 podcast. But we were in Chicago outside. It started snowing, and we did a cold plunge in the cold water. And I'll tell you, I've never been so cold in my life.
Right.
But afterwards, there is a jolt and a stimulation and an energy that is like you can't really explain. It's like your body is generating energy from the inside out. I don't know if it's the shivering that is, you know, your muscles is creating all these different endorphins. You can definitely feel it. It's like a natural high.
Yeah, it's really the dopamine. The shaking of your body is just your natural stimulant to warm up. That's what it is, the shivering of it. But the dopamine rush that you receive, scientists already know that it lasts 72 hours. But I can tell you for myself, brother, on the whole week, I'm on fire. Like my mind is so clear. I'm driving, you know, down the road, you know, the mirror, the people passing, you know, the old lady over there just dropped the groceries with the, like, it's just so sharp, you know, that it's incredible. But you spoke about being in the water for 10 minutes and, you know, which is, you know, admirable. And that's wonderful, bro. I'm impressed, bro. You haven't been with me, though. But anyway.
Not yet.
Right. And you will. For 10 minutes is a long time. And technically, you really don't need to be in there for 10 minutes. Just 2 or 3 minutes. The consistency, this is the key. You see, because some people say, oh, well, I was there for a half hour. Yeah, but you do it only once a year. You see what I'm saying? So to reap the benefits, you should be getting into the cold water for about 2 or 3 minutes a couple of times a week. You know, if you can get it in like 3 times a week, man, that's great. Twice is good too. And even once a week is fine also. But, you know, some people take cold showers and be like, oh, is that good enough? There's no hard case studies when it comes to taking cold showers and reaping the benefits of cold exposure. There's too many variables. Some people taller, some shorter. Some people go with the head under or the back under or just the chest. So there's too many variables. But when it comes to getting in the water, you know, submerging your body totally up to the neck, which is super important too, because we have these very tiny veins that are inside of our bodies, and most of them are here in our neck. So you want to be in the water up to your neck because you want those veins to constrict and then loosen again. You see, it helps with blood flow, you know, among many things.
Bring less than bikinis, rock them lovers,
talk a little bit about this
ice. Cause I'm out getting mine, shade with the gauge and vanilla with the 9. Ready.
That's what's up.
Let's start from the top. WACR 90.3 FM radio. We're here with Omar. We're talking about ice. We're talking about the exposure.
Yo, VIP.
I had to throw a little bit of vanilla ice in there as we break it. But yeah, man, this is an incredible conversation. Hold on, that's it. That's all we need from you, Vanilla Ice. Thank you for that. That's all we need from you today. But getting back to it, you know, it's 90.3 FM radio, the voice of Harlem. And we're talking about ice and cold exposure. We're talking about the benefits of this. The consistency is key in making sure that you're doing this. There is a difference between a cold shower and a fully immersion in a ice bath. You talked about the variables. Like, I'm not saying cold showers are not great. They're definitely a good habit to jump into to make yourself, you know, a little uncomfortable in the morning and, you know, wake yourself up with a jolt. But don't think that you're going to have the same exact benefit or the plethora of additional benefits as being fully immersed in the cold water. What is the temperature normally that you have the waters at? I know you just throw blogs and blogs of ice in there. You over here people in there looking like a nice cocktail. Icy brew,
a mocktail.
a little mocktail. There we go, an herbal mocktail.
Exactly. First, I did want to mention that my name is Omar and my wife's name is Aziel. So the name of our company is Whcr.
Whcr.
Exactly. And it has different connotations there, right? Om is the vibrational frequency of God, and El means God, and those type of things. So we're the Whcr Healing Sanctuary, and we're located in North Bergen, New Jersey. Now, when it comes to showers, all my showers are cold, in the morning, at night too. Some people say, no, not at night. I'm trying to go to sleep. Listen, I sleep better. My dreams are more lucid. I wake up refreshed, and then taking a cold shower, when you rise, it's better than coffee. It's stimulating all of your senses. We have the 5 senses, plus we have other ones too. And it stimulates you rather than coffee. You don't want to put coffee in your body, by the way. There's too much acid and tons of pesticides too. So first drink water with sea salt and a squeeze of lemon when you rise, about room temperature, about 16 ounces of water.
There you go. A little alkalinity advice for you.
Mm-hmm.
Throw some of that high quality salt, some Celtic sea salt, a little bit of lemon juice, alkalize your body first thing in the morning. That's what I did today. Added in some shilajit as well.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, the shilajit is amazing things also. I go with the sea moss too. Okay. Right after that, I go with the wild crafted sea moss. I know Whcr is coming out of Nicholas, Brooklyn as well. He has his products there, and one of them is the sea moss. A huge shout outs to Whcr as well. And he has all kinds of things, the stingless bee honey and things of that nature. But we do bring this healing modality to different places, yoga studios and CrossFit gyms and, street fairs. It's crazy. We do these street fairs and I bring extra shorts because you always got those guys like, yeah, I'll do it, but not today. I don't have any shorts,
So don't worry, partner, I got
bow. But that's another thing also. Some guys coming through brolic and all that. Yeah, come on, man, I can do this ice and everything. And then they don't even last 20 seconds in that water. They out, Unlike the women, you see. Women
the threshold of the woman is different.
Man, I'm telling you, women are way stronger than men. It's a fact, bro. I've seen it. They get in the water, they're like Zen. Like they fall asleep, they lean back. Yeah, it's powerful. It's a powerful stimulant.
All right, man. We got to get our energy up, man. We can't be out here being strong and muscly and can't expose ourselves to a little bit of cold.
Exactly. Well, before we get into the cold, I did want to mention, Danny, that we do the breath work first.
Right.
So some people just think, oh, man, you can get hypothermia. You get in there and all of that. And listen, we do the breath work first. Think of those old cars where you had to turn the key and give it some gas. So it's like that. You need to warm up this Ferrari that we're in. And the breath work there's different styles of breath work that we do. And I also did want to mention that there are people that have made this healing modality very popular. Right, but I usually don't mention them because they don't mention me on their podcast. You know what I'm
saying? Oh, that's crazy.
I'm just saying.
Let's talk about some of them, though. Let's talk about some.
Okay.
I know, the one that I've heard the most about is Wim Hof.
Of course.
Okay, that's like the Wim Hof breed, the Iceman.
Right. Yes.
I feel like he might be the number one of
the number one. He's the number. He's the king of it.
He's the king.
And the beauty of it is that he brought the science to it. That's what he brought. He didn't invent this and discover it. No, it's like Christopher Columbus going to a place where people are at already.
Right.
Like, you don't discover nothing like that. So he just took some of these old techniques. One of them is in the Himalayan mountains. The monks do the breath work first in the temple, and then they go outside into the freezing cold with a wet blanket. They squeeze it out and they put it on themselves, and they sit down lotus position and they guide heat into different parts of their body. And when they dry the towel, the sheet, then they go back into the temple. So it's all about the mind, you know. So he took some of that. And there's also
Wow.
the fact that this healing modality, when it comes to cold exposure, is very, very ancient, Danny. There is a papyrus text, I believe it's called the Edward papyrus text. Don't quote me on this, guys, because I'm not an Egyptologist scholar, you know. But the text says that they were using cold exposure for healing purposes. You see? So this is way ancient. The Greeks, all that, they were using cold for healing purposes. So they already know.
Nice. Yeah, man, it's new for a lot of people, but it's very, very ancient. And it's like tapping into a superpower. At least when I first heard about this, I'm like, how is it possible? Because I remember seeing videos and hearing different stories about these monks going up into the Tibetan mountains and walking barefoot. And all they got is just the robe and there's blizzard outside, and they just sit there, crisscross applesauce.
That's right.
And a mild snow.
You see them while the wind is whipping ice on their beard and eyelashes, and yeah.
And it's incredible.
It's incredible.
You can you talk to a modern medical professional and say, you will die if you expose yourself to these conditions.
Exactly.
And we have individuals who have exposed themselves to these conditions, which is supposed to kill you, and they don't die.
That's right.
Which automatically, to me, disproves their belief.
Exactly. Including mom too. Remember mom, oh, put on a jacket now, so you're going to get them cold, you're going to die. And no, we don't. Germs, make you sick, not cold exposure. It does dry the mucus in your chest, and that's where you develop the cough and stuff like that. But
I feel like there's definitely a temperature variation. You got to be careful saying germs make you sick, because we have terrain theorists that come on our podcast. Okay, the germs don't make you sick. They are culprits of the exposure of all.
Yeah. That's why I usually tell people, like, I'm not a scientist in all of this stuff. In fact, don't believe me. Don't take my word for it. Go find out yourself, and then come back with some information and teach me. I don't know. I'm doing the best that I can, and what I've learned. And what I have learned is that, the frontal cortex lobe that you have in your brain is a new part of the brain in the evolution of humans. Right? It's the biggest lobe that you have in the front. It's the one that helps you to navigate this realm. Right, that's why you chose that hat and those sneakers and the pants. Good choice, by the way. And that's the one that helps you in this realm. But sometimes it's on overdrive. Like now, it's telling you all kinds of things. Oh, don't start that podcast. Don't write that book now. Oh, no, don't get on that social media. People are not gonna like you. Look at your nose. Look at your hair. You're not dark enough. You're not white enough. You're not. It's all of that. So how do we quiet that? It's with breath work. See, that's where it comes in. Meditation is just paying attention to your breath. That is the basic premise of Buddhism or meditation, is just to pay attention to the air that's coming in your nostrils and out of your nostrils. What it does is it quiets the mind. Some people say, yeah, but I try to meditate and then all I hear is, yeah, I know. It's like jumping hurdles. That's what meditation is. You're supposed to just look at that. You see, and then at some point it starts to quiet, and you start to look at it. Don't cling to it. Look at it like clouds in the sky as they pass by. Just observe your thoughts. That's it. So the breath work that we do, that you mentioned earlier, we do take these power breaths. We're oxygenizing the cells in our bodies. We're pushing in all the oxygen, and we're blowing off all the carbon. You see, that's what we're doing. So it's a powerful stimulant as well. Because then the frontal lobe, you start getting these thoughts like, oh my God, like who's chasing you? Why are you breathing like this? But you're supposed to just talk to your brain and just say, hey, look, I got this. I'm okay. Thank you for helping me, but I got it. So we take these power breaths of oxygen in, and we blow off all of the carbon. And then we do something called air retention, where at some point we blow out the air, and then we hold that and we stay very still, and you drop into the earth. Because we live on one huge recycling magnetic machine, you see. So we just drop laying down, because I've done it driving. I wouldn't recommend it, bro. I got stories for you. But when you drop into the earth, this planet, Pachamama, some people call it recycles all the negative energy. So you're just releasing, right? Grounding is a big thing too, right? Because the scientists are already finding out what the ancients been telling us already, is that we can ground into the earth. So once you do that, we hold it for about 30 seconds or a minute or more. And then at some point, I cue people in to breathe in deeply. And then they hold that one in very tightly into the chest and neck and area. And we hold that one for about, it could be 30 seconds, it could be a minute, it could be more, but it's like free diving, right? Free divers dive, right? 20 minutes, half hour without tank. Why? Because the body adapts to be without air. It does. You can't be without it for too long, but you can train the body to be without air. And then what that does, Danny, is that it quiets the monkey mind, the chatter in your head. People start to notice, like, wow, man, everything went quiet. I didn't know whether I was breathing, I was in the room, and then there's other people coming up with other stories, in which I've seen them myself. Like, I seen colors, I seen the disco ball, I seen purple, and because we're also activating the dimethyltryptamine in our body. We naturally carry it, like in our lungs, produce it and stuff like that.
You said the DMT activation.
Exactly. So babies are flooded with dimethyltryptamine. And then people who have near-death experiences also experience this flood of dimethyltryptamine. So it seems that chemical in our body is like a key, coming from that where we come from, and going to the next.
Right. So just so y'all know, dimethyltryptamine, DMT, is that active molecule that they use in those sacred ceremonies of ayahuasca. And just imagine using your breath and your intention to stimulate that without the need of an exogenous substance to coming in. So this is incredible to think that we can do this. Our lungs are producing this. If we breathe the right way in the right manner, we can stimulate these experiences. And I know a lot of people talk about meditation. I can't do it. I don't know how to. I don't know how to turn my mind off. But focusing on your breath is not turning your mind off. It's focusing on something specific. And if you could do that, then that's essentially what meditation is. Yeah,
it is. And then you can accomplish incredible amounts of things. When you see people who are like so-called super, super successful, what do? Right? You see the athletes, they film them. They're doing a little breath work before they get on stage or before they perform. Yeah. Pay attention to your breath. It calms the body down. I mean, I was in the car waiting for you downstairs, and I went through a few rounds of breath work, man. And it helps to calm me. It helps to ground me. I find my inner compass. All animals have an inner compass. That's why birds fly south and those type of things. And we have it too, but we just don't tap into it.
I think that is one of the biggest problems in our society is people really don't breathe well. Just think about the most basic, important, and consistent thing that you do every day of your life. You're not doing it the right way. So if you can make that small adjustment to be intentional about how you breathe, how deep you're breathing. People don't breathe deep into their belly or into their back unless they're running. Unless they're physically exerting themselves, but not, sitting down. I did the same thing when I was driving over here. I say, let's breathe deep. Breathing, intentional, breathing it in, feeling all the parts of your lungs to make sure that you have that oxygen. And it really is a mild stimulant.
Yeah. And you have organs down below that need air also. Why, when you tell somebody to breathe deep, their shoulders go up. It's not like that. It's belly breathing deep. Feeling your whole cavity with air. And it's super helpful to calm the mind, and any situation that comes your way, you're able to navigate it much, much better.
Oh, yeah. That is a fact. Hold up. WHCR 90.3 FM radio, the voice of Harlem.
Harlem's got its own radio station. Once again, back is the incredible WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem.
Yeah, man, we here with my boy MZL Wellness.
That's right. MZL Healing Sanctuary.
MZL Healing Sanctuary.
That's us.
That's the man here. He's bringing the information about cold plunging. We're talking about breath work, the value that it has on our mind, and how this is an important prerequisite in order for you to get the most benefit from the cold plunging, right? The cold exposure is one thing. You would have to be intentional and go about doing this in a way that I would highly suggest you go with Omar to get this done the right way. But
Appreciate you. Thank you.
when you're at home, you can breathe. You can breathe on purpose. You can breathe with purpose. And this is a key aspect for improving all parts of your health, all parts of your wellness. I think every physical activity can be increased by your breathing techniques.
Yes.
We got runners, swimmers,
That's right.
weightlifters,
That's right.
yoga instructors.
Right, exactly.
No matter what it is, they say, oh, focus on your breath. So you don't have to do that just because you're doing something physically straining. You could do this just in the simplicity and the basic right before you have breakfast.
That's right.
You know, you do a little prayer and breathe.
You did bring up some great things about people breathing, humans. We usually breathe in about 2 seconds and then we breathe out like about 1.5 seconds. It's just terrible. It's really, really shallow. We're not deep breathing. We have to deep breathe. So let's say you go, hey, I go to the gym. I'm okay. You know, like, yeah, but then I get gassed out. I get tired. Like I do boxing or kettlebell. And you have to get your cardio up. That's what you have to do. And what is that? That's the breath. If you can master the breath, you can accomplish incredible amounts of things. Everything, Danny, is tied to the breath. So when you are excited, what happens? You start breathing, right? Or when you're like angry, it's a different type of breathing. It's like, right? And then when you're calm, it's a different type of breathing. You see, so you have all of these different points of breath. So you need to be able to direct that however it is that you want it to be directed, because we have that. Whoever made us, this Ferrari here, gives us the ability to master our breath in any situation, high level CEO meetings, or, you know, you and your girlfriend having an argument, you know, at the restaurant. You know, if you can just master that breath, take that deep breath, slow down. If we took 3 deep breaths right now and just held it a little bit on the top on the third one and released it, you would go, wow, man, I feel different. Like my energy, my everything has just shifted. I feel more calmer. I feel a little bit high, right? You know, so it's beautiful. Stimulants are wonderful. And I did want to say that too. So, you know, these chemicals that you're having in your body that are being released, they're just like a drug, you know, and if you know anything about drugs, right, which I don't, you know, I'm just saying, you know, I know nothing about that. But think about coffee. Coffee is a drug. It shifts you. It stimulates you. Your heart starts racing, and you get all of these things that come up, you know. But with the breath alone, you can obtain those things by breathing deeply, you know, and breathing fast and breathing slower, you know, change those rhythms. And then the air retention, holding that too. It just changes your whole perspective.
Right. So just imagine you can have the same effects as some type of stimulating drug or substance with none of the side effects, none of the negative effects.
Yeah, and then
there's nothing wrong with breathing.
Nothing wrong. And then you can look up on YouTube. Like there's tons of free stuff out there. Some people say, oh man, I can't afford $1,500 for that certificate. You don't need that.
You don't need that.
You don't need that. Besides, those ancient techniques are ours, and they're just selling us back our ancient knowledge from our ancestors.
Yo, don't go and pay $1,500 to breathe. I'm going to just say that right now. I'm not hating on nobody's grind. I'm going to just say, don't you dare.
Don't do it.
Pay no $1,500 to go breathe.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Just take half of that and come to the Whcr Healing Sanctuary.
There you go. You'll get ice, cold exposure.
Yeah.
You'll get some items.
We'll give you a certificate too, man.
You'll get all kinds of good stuff. You wanna invest. Exactly. There you go. Invest with the best.
Yep.
But man, you guys can text in or call. No, don't call in. We're not taking callers today, but you can text in 201-632-3061 with any questions about cold exposure, and we'll try to get those things answered for y'all. But I know one of the questions that was given to me before I had this interview with you was how does cold impact our immune function? I know as the people's herbalist, I'm an adaptogenic specialist. I love herbs that help with our immune response, with our stress levels. These all go hand in hand. Phytonutrients, they do have a direct impact on our physiology, not as direct or as impactful as a drug substance, but more nourishing and balancing in their effects. And obviously they pair well. You're not going to replace breathing with herbs, and you can't replace herbs with breathing, but have a synergistic benefit of some high nutrients while you breathe to improve your immune function. So I wanted to see what breathing and also cold exposure, what kind of relationship is there with our immune function?
Well, both of them sort of share the symbiotic relationship where they're helping one another, to do and accomplish some incredible things. So, usually the immune system in our environment where we're living is very poor. Why? It's the water, the foods we eat, the air they're spraying, and all kinds of things that I'm not sure if we want to get into, but it impacts our immune system. What is the immune system? It's the ability to fight off things, like when you get a small cut and those type of things. It doesn't turn into this huge infection. There's a war going on inside of your body. So what you want to do is you want to strengthen those soldiers. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That way, when they come with all this other stuff, you can transmute some of those things. It's pure alchemy when you're doing breath work and ice. That's what you're doing. You're changing things on a cellular level, even DNA. There's tons of science out there for that. But when it comes to the immune system, it boosts your immune system. So people who get into the ice water with us for 2 or 3 minutes, Danny, no one has ever come back and said, man, I got sick because of that. I caught a fever, or, I wasn't feeling well, after that, bro. Thank you very much. Never. Anybody who's come back always, it's positive. They always come back with something like, wow, man, I feel amazing. I started that thing. I started writing again. I went back to yoga class, and I'm lifting. I'm in the gym regular now. Things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Improving our body's response. It's resiliency. I think that's probably one of the biggest issues in our society is we're very comfortable. Too comfortable. People sit down for too long.
Yeah.
They don't move enough. Their lymphatic system is not being stimulated enough. We overconsume in foods. So there's a lot of things in our natural society that we gotta find some things to
Free
work
radicals,
around, right?
All of that.
I do my best, and I make it a point of emphasis. We don't judge people by how they live, but we got to make sure that we're telling the truth about the things that we're doing.
That's right.
And so I don't mind if you want to smoke crack. Know that the crack is gonna kill you.
That's right.
Right? Or it's gonna wither you away slowly but surely.
Or make you broke.
It'll make you broke. It's gonna do something. So know what you're doing. At least understand the ramifications, the consequences of consistently doing things that may not be in your best interest.
That's right.
And then also recognize that there are things that you can do that will be in your best interest.
Right.
And this happens to be one of those things.
Yeah.
The breath work is the lowest of the hanging fruit outside of being in nature and grounding, right?
And the sweetest. Trust me.
You know what? This just reminded me of one of my breathwork experiences. This was a different version. I had the pleasure and opportunity to work with Dr. Zach Bush. And I was in one of his ambassador programs. And there was a breathwork experiment that he asked us all to do, which was totally opposite than what I've always known, because you would want to oxygenize your body, right? This was removing the oxygen and increasing your CO2 in your blood,
Interesting.
which had a different effect on stimulating your immune response. Because like hypoxia, you're like, you're turning your blood acidic on purpose with oxygen.
Right.
But what that does is a short period of time, but then it stimulates a whole bunch of stem cells, a whole bunch of other things to save the day.
Wow.
So your body, if you're exposed into a really negative scenario, it builds a response to help you heal faster. So it was a counterintuitive way, I thought, but it really interesting. So I did this, right? And the process was 15 minutes of essentially exhaling, not doing it in a deep inhale, but just just exhaling. And after he warned me, like, when you do this, you'll start to feel like almost rigor mortis. So my arms went up like a T-Rex.
Right.
My hands got like this. I'm like, holy crap. I do not remember the technical term for this, right? But I felt this and I was like, whoa, this is really wild.
Something like that.
Very, very wild experience. But I was like almost paralyzed for a good 3 minutes while I was doing this. And then afterwards, I did my deep breathing to inhale the oxygen again, and my muscles started to relax and I came back to normal. But I felt like, I just got frozen in time by breathing in a certain way. It turned me into like a dead roach. Like I was cooked for a minute. But it just goes to show the uniqueness of how your physiology responds to the way that you breathe.
That's right.
So I had to share this experience with people because people think like, wait, what? I was like, I paralyzed myself on purpose with my breath.
Right.
Let's think about that. And it definitely had an impactful benefit afterwards. Like I felt like, oh man, I'm loose again.
Right.
You know?
It's incredible. People do experience many different things, including myself, with the breath work. When you're pulling in a lot of oxygen, your fingers start to tingle. Your lips start to tingle as well because you're pushing in all of this oxygen. And then there's the T-Rex arms too, the claw, And some people might equate that with energy that is stuck in your body. And this is the way that it's manifesting itself, trying to tell you that there's something stuck inside of you. And here it is. Look at it, And that's where breath comes in order to loosen those energies. Because some cultures believe that sicknesses or dis-ease is just energy, right? Everything is energy, right? The chair, the mic, all of this, they're just vibrating at different frequencies. That's all it is. It's just energy. And if we can move that energy, right, we can live a more healthier life, a more vigorous life. We can accomplish things that are self-gratifying for ourselves and our family as well.
Absolutely. Finding the vitality and the energy to be better every single day, every single opportunity.
And I wanted to mention also about the that energy that we're looking for too, and that mindset. This is one of the huge benefits, Danny, for us, is the mindset. Because I receive many things from it, but it's the mindset for me. Like I can tell you just briefly about my daily life. I am up at 4 a.m. and I run about 7 miles a day. And I can do that for 7 days a week, right? I didn't just get up and start doing this, by the way. It took me time to build this up. Excuse me. I ran short before for a while. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I ran about a mile or two, and that was a huge accomplishment. But then I did that for a long time. But then after a while, I had to, up it. And then here is the breath work and the ice, clearing my mind from all that mental fog, right? Because most of us are walking around with this. We get that like from coffee and stuff like that. It's brain fog. It's no good. Right. But then I started getting more clarity, and then my mindset started to shift, and I started pushing myself in areas that I couldn't even know that I could ever do in my life. I would never, do anything like that offhand, but it was just the breath and the ice, and it created this mindset for me where now we're the Whcr Healing Sanctuary. We're growing by leaps and bounds. We do men's retreats. We do huge gatherings, which is the Purple Sage Festival.
September 21st that y'all want to make sure y'all at.
I forgot to throw that in.
Yes. Yo, we had a caller. Hold on. Let's see our caller for 1 second. Let's get you on. All right, you are live on WHCR 90.3 FM radio. Are you there with us, caller?
Yes, I am.
How's it going? Introduce yourself.
John from Queens, New York.
John from Queens, New York. What's going on, John? You had a question for us today?
Yeah, what's the topic?
We're talking about breath work. We're talking about cold plunge experiences with Whcr Healing Sanctuary.
I'd like to talk about the mayor.
Talk about the mayor. Man, we talk about health and wellness today, John. But I'll tell you one thing. If the mayor's pissing you off, take some deep breaths, my brother. Take some deep breaths.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, this is the People's Healing Hour, man. We're talking about some healing and some health, and we're definitely talking about cold plunge experiences. Have you ever done anything like that?
No, I haven't done that sincerely.
Okay. Well, hopefully this exposure might be able to bring you into something that's new and something that's very impactful. I can tell that you are not happy about the mayor. And there's a lot of people like that out here right now.
You
There's
know,
a lot of
if I can
nonsense.
just jump in, Danny. John, this is Whcr. I would just want to give you a little bit of advice on anything when it comes to politics, especially. Start with that cold shower, brother. You see how it will calm a lot of things in your life and make some things more clear. You get to see some of those topics that you thought you were sure about. You see them in a new light. So, yeah, that's my advice. Yes.
All right, good.
All right. Yo, John, appreciate your call, man. You have an incredible Wednesday.
You too. You have a credible Wednesday too.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
All right. Huge shout out to John in Queens.
Shout out to John from Queens, man.
That's what's up.
I appreciate it when people call in, man. Just want to chat.
Mhm.
That's what we're doing here. The People's Healing Hour. We want to help people heal in any way, going through the mental health struggles, going through the stress of living in a society where things ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People intuitively know stuff ain't right, man.
Yep, something's wrong. Something's going
wrong.
on. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You know?
exactly. But this is what I say. I say, is the earth flat or round? You know, is it 12 months or 13 months? But what we tell people is, does that really matter?
How's that helping
doesn't
you?
really. How does it help you? It doesn't matter. Focus. These are like, if you know any of the street games they used to play, like the 3-card Monty,
Oh, yeah.
or the Red Ball, like, you know, where is can you
Oh,
find
my
it? The back
my
of
uncle
the-
used to be
Me
beasting
too.
on
My uncle,
people.
oh,
with that
my uncle too. He
3-card
told me how to
Monty.
do it.
Yeah, that's how I
you
know the
flip that.
tricks.
Yeah, me too. Me too. You know, they used to work the streets like that, man. Hustle people, you know. But it's that little game that they're playing, you know, especially on the social media. You know, people be like, oh my God, did you see about that meteorite that's coming? Listen, man, you can't do nothing about that, right? But what I say, Danny, is that if there is something that we can do about it, then we should.
Right.
I've been to different protests. You know, maybe look, I'm not about to get arrested and none of that. No, you know, but, you know, I did show up with food and support in that way. And financially, I said, why? Because I can do it. See, there's something I can do about to help them. Bring them food, donuts, you know, bagels. You keep going, brothers. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. You know, let's do something about it.
I remember my activist stage. I was heavy during COVID time, lockdown time, mandates. I was out in the streets a lot more than normal. And probably I may not have been so much. You know what? No, I don't regret anything because it was absolutely necessary for people to see we're not just angry for no reason and we don't have blind fury, right? There is legit science. There are legit people that are working behind the scenes to help.
That's right.
And we're being silenced and the knowledge needs to be shared. And since we can't share that on some of the social media platforms, I got deleted off IG, unfortunately, but we had to be in person. We had to connect with people and hearing people's collective anger and fury and then being able to offer something that can be useful for their stress levels, but also very useful for their immune function and having solutions. Right. I thought that was extremely important. So
yeah, it is. You did something about it.
Yeah, shout out to the activists, man.
Yeah,
and shout out to Cozy Wellness. I just want to say that because he's one of the guys out here who is heavy in the streets and talking about, mandates and making sure that people have autonomy to do what they want. You're not being forced to consume medical procedures that you don't want to.
Right. Some people, you see them, they jump right in. Oh, because my doctor said, what? Just because the doctor said? Look, you need to research that for real.
Yeah, man.
Look into it. You don't need that surgery. You don't need that injection. You don't need any of them. But there was another one. Excuse me. I'm sorry. The Occupy Wall Street. I don't know if you remember that one.
I remember that.
That was a good one. That was a good one, bro. That was good. It was good because, it was the beginning of like, who's the leader here? We don't know who the leader is, and they were using the technology, in different locations. So they couldn't really shut them down for a while there. But my story is that, I was there a few times and then I was bringing food, and then me and my wife too. And she worked actually at the building right there. Excuse me. And, I dropped her off and I set her off with like, a 2 or 3 dozen donuts and bagels. And she went to go give it. And she was online and there was a guy in front of her and a homeless guy was there. He was like, hey, anything to eat? And the guy said, I'm sorry, we don't have any more food. And there she showed up with all those bagels and donuts, bro. She said it was like the heavens opened up. It was one of those moments, bro. Like you're making an impact here, man. You're helping people right there.
I love it.
Yeah, let's do something about what we can do about instead of complaining about some of these things or trying to wonder about the Illuminati or the other, let's not do that. Take care of your own thing, your own family, your own body, your own temple.
Right.
Breath work. Push your body too. Run. That's why I run, because it's mental. Some people are like, oh, I get tired. It's in your mind. You have to be able to push your mind, as a man thinketh, right? James Allen.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like this is a very important topic that we can actually probably go for a whole nother hour talking about, because the idea of philosophy, armchair philosophy, thinking, but not doing. We know that there's problems. We know that we want to see things change. What are you doing about it? What actions are you taking?
Yeah.
Education and enlightening people, that's awesome. But that only goes too far. What are you actually doing to make those changes?
Contribution.
What contribution are you bringing to the problem that you're elucidating for everybody? We all know that there's problems. More awareness of the problems don't fix the problems.
Right.
Actions, steps, tools, community.
That's what we're doing, OMZL. This, Danny, really is our contribution to what's going on here. We're helping to change the face of health and wellness, right? Because usually when you look in the magazines, you already see, and people start thinking, oh, well, I don't have the connections of the complexion, just go and do it. Just do it. Do it. How did you start, Danny?
Yeah, man.
Who would give you that idea or the cojones to start any of these things that you're doing?
Right.
Why? You could have went and worked for UPS or something.
I had a lot of jobs.
I'm just saying, me too.
I had a lot of jobs. I worked a lot of things before, you build up that confidence to just do on your own. And comes from, being upset. Like, hey, I don't want to I'm slaving for the man every day, right?
That's right.
But you want to do something that I feel could be more impactful, and then I have control over what's going on.
That's right.
That's
right. When you work at a job, you're helping to build somebody's dream. That's what you're doing, which is nothing wrong with that, and people are super successful at it. But, the fact is that they could get rid of you at any time. Like, just wake up tomorrow and go, we don't like your shoes, you're fired, or something like that, But when it's your own thing, your own business, this thing that has come to you, this thought, why do you think that you're thinking these things constantly? I keep thinking about starting that business, the tea shop or the coffee or the distributing the t-shirts. And why? Is because God, the universe, whatever name you want to put on it or whatever box, because God cannot be defined in any shape or manner. But whatever that thing is, that voice telling you, follow that voice. Why do you think that you're hearing it all the time, telling you to go and take that leap? Jump. We equated to a pool. You climb the steps, get on the diving board, and you look down. Oh my God, it's too high. And what if the water's cold and I hurt myself? Man, but once you jump and you hit that water and you come up, man, why didn't I jump earlier?
There it is. That is some advice for the entrepreneurial minded.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, don't let fear stagnate your progress and your potential. The analysis paralysis
That's right. That's
we
right.
get in people.
Mm-hmm.
You have a skill. You have an ability. Human beings are meant to be creators. We are conscious co-creators in its existence. If you have something, share it.
That's right. That's right.
Do it.
Mm-hmm.
Do not let fear hinder you from the benefits that you could bring to another person. Because everybody's listening, everybody's watching. Social media is not even social no more. It's just media.
Yeah, it's just media.
People looking.
Yeah, just
They might
looking.
not even want to talk to you. They just want to see what's going on.
Yeah, yep. Everything, how good they look with the G strings at the beach. and listen, man, come on. How is that benefiting anyone? Right? Because I feel that social media should be for that purpose, is to help people. That's why, if I'm going to put at least a minimum, I put a quote from somebody. That quote might help someone with something, not the food I'm eating or the car that's not mine or the establishment that looks so beautiful. You're not the owner there, right? Come on now, to do something to be the owner. Start something. Everybody starts somewhere.
There it is.
All huge companies, they're in the garage. I've started in my garage, bro. I had guys on the floor doing breath right there, freezing in January, and then we go right there in the bucket with ice, breaking it with a sledgehammer, and I'm telling you, and we've had times where it was so cold, Danny, that any water that spilled out of the tub, immediately it was an ice rink right there, bro.
Wow.
But it builds up that resilience, entrepreneurship. Maybe you want to start that relationship or you want to end one, or something like that. So that's where we're at, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I can't believe this hour went by so fast. This is incredible. So we got to do the shout outs. September 21st.
Yes.
We're doing the Purple Sage Festival. This is going to be up in New Paltz, New York.
That's right.
At the Stonehenge
Farm. The Stonehenge Farm, which is approximately about an hour and a half from where we're at now. So, you could take Amtrak or Trailways or something like that too. But, we're doing carpooling. A sister, she couldn't get a ride. We got her a ride from Brooklyn, so Queens, they're coming from Long Island. There's people that are coming from 3 hours away.
How do people find out about this? How do people get more information?
Thank you so much. It's OMZLHealingSanctuary.com. OMZL is OMZIEL. OMZLHealingSanctuary.com/events/Purple Sage. You get to see all the artists there. It's a musical event. We're having, at least a dozen performers, dancing companies that are coming through. We're having energetic food and different beverages, kava, cacao. We have different vendors. We have the people's herbalists that are going to be there too. Do you know them? Of course, yeah.
Of course, I know that guy.
Yeah, that guy's good, bro.
Like it.
All kinds of things. It's incredible. There's an option to sleep over on Sunday night if people are open to that too. But it starts at 12 and ends at 9 p.m. And it's the best time and the best investment you'll make. It's super affordable too. The tickets. Check the website. You'll see.
Yeah, definitely.